So Simstrax presents a comprehensive automotive solution called Complio. I would request to start with the presentation. So today we would see how Complio can help you easily automate and digitize the business processes. So at Simtrax, we create and implement digital document solutions to turn enterprise processes fully digital and EDI ready. We craft, tailor and seamlessly integrate customer-specific software solutions along with cloud-based document interchanges. We have brought our proven expertise in digital transformation to more than 3,000 companies worldwide and with our average customer relationship lasting for 12 plus years. This is our presence. We have our 7 offices. Can we just... The third slide. Okay, I'll take the access from you. Thank you. So we have our offices present across the globe. So Los Angeles and Nimes being the head office, we have our other offices in London, Boston, Waldorf, Pune and Mumbai. So we offer services to our customers in the same time zone during the regular office hours. Moving further, our technology partners SAP, IBM, Microsoft and Oracle. Here are a few customers from the manufacturing domain. You can see Volkswagen, Suzuki, Toyota, Honda, Autoliv successfully using Simstrax Complio solutions. Here are again from manufacturing YKK, Himalaya, Pfizer, Godrej and the list continues. Here are a few from the non-manufacturing domain like Dainik Bhaskar, Alliance, AXA, HSBC, etc. Moving ahead, Complio Hybrid. So Complio Hybrid is a one-stop solution for all the document management needs. We have certified connectors with SAP and IBM and for other ERPs we connect using API. It is a very easy to use drag and drop interface and all tasks are managed using customized templates. There is no programming required and gives a quick implementation. Benefits of Complio suite. So any process you set up in Complio is document traceable. Since the solution resides outside the ERP, you can capitalize on your existing investments. It streamlines the processes, gives a complete automation, reduces risk of errors. Complio is audit compliant, reduces the TCO and gives a quick ROI. So here are departments, here are mentioned departments and few benefits that we provide. So in terms of sales, customer, inventory reports are shared without any manual interventions. We can automate any business processes like PO2SO, Grn Creation, etc. For human resources, we can digitally sign Form 16, pay slips, offer letters. We can design workflows for leave and expense management, etc. For finance, you can see digitally signed invoices, credit note, debit note and e-invoicing which is mandatory these days. So Simtrax is doing all the functionalities of e-invoicing successfully across the globe in major countries like South America, Middle East, Australia, etc. In distribution, we can consolidate delivery note with relevant documents. We can also digitize the delivery notes using QR code, barcode, we can digitize the delivery notes. So moving ahead, this is a typical architecture for Complio. On the left hand side, you can see SAP ERP. As mentioned, we have a certified connectors with SAP. A spool is captured by Complio. Actually, sorry. I want the typical architecture. Okay. So a spool is captured by Complio, an appropriate template is applied on the same and the desired output is further distributed via a multi-channel platform of distribution. Like you can see there is printing, emailing, archiving, pushing it back to the SAP content servers, you can store it on a cloud repository, etc. So for other ERPs, the input methods that are available with us are applications, email, office suites, PC folders, in-house application and third-party application is also available. So here again are a few integration options. As mentioned, we have certified connectors with SAP, with IBM and for other ERPs we can connect via Simtrax virtual printer, web services or a folder. Solutions that I will present today here are enriching business documents, digital signature, process automation, website for order to cash process, workflow for business processes, digitized business documents and customized reports. This is a process flow for digital signature. The challenges these days are migration from physical signs to digital signature on business documents and being audit compliant and going paperless. So, and on the left hand side, as you can see that this is a user. When the user processes a file, it is being captured by Complio with our certified connectors. The file is converted into the necessary PDF and sent back to the user for signing. The authority will review and sign the document. Once the document is signed, it might get digitally printed on the remote location of the signing authority, or it may be further distributed via a distribution options, like as you can see and I have already mentioned. So moving ahead, here are a few customers successfully using digital signature feature amongst our Tata Chemicals, RSB, Greenco, Rallis, Autoliv. This is the demo for reformatting and digital signature. As you can see that this is the SAP output, so I would show you how digital signature works, playing the video. So on the SAP ERP, we mentioned the T code as VF31 and I enter. So after entering, as you can see VF31, I change the processing mode to 2. I mention the billing document, whatever is the billing document. Here I mention 5425. I execute, I select the file. I would like to show you the preview of this particular file. This is a plain simple vanilla invoice with of less detail. There is no QR code, there is no barcode, you can see there is no digital signature. I go back to my ERP and I execute this file. When the file is executed, validation in the remote agent of the signing authority, he would receive a validation for check or an invoice has been received. So you can see the status, there is an invoice in the waiting list. So this is how the enriched version looks like. It has a QR code, it has a barcode, there is a necessary details present. The signature position is flexible, you can drag and drop the signature or you can sign it. The output is received into the email, so you can see that I have received this particular sign. When I open the document, there is a signed invoice. You can see we've also queried the data from the tables. There has been QR code added, there has been barcode added. It's in a popular information structured format. The document is digitally signed by us. You can also check with the specifications as in the time, the validation and the details of the signature. With this, there is an attached sheet with the invoice which has necessary details for the e-way bill or the barcode, whatever the business requires. So this is how you will receive an enriched version after signing into your invoice. Now when you want to automatically sign bulk invoices, there is a simple setting. We just need to click the remote agent to validate and sign the documents automatically. We go back to the ERP, we follow the same process, a simple process. We mention the T code, we have 31. Select a set of range of documents. You want say 5 documents to be signed automatically. I am just mentioning the range. And when I execute, I will select the files. I am selecting all the files. And we execute this. Again, the notification would be received in the signing authority of the remote agent that these documents have been signed. When the spool gets captured, the notification would come and the documents are automatically signed in the signing authority with the remote agent. So this is how the enriched version of a digital signed document looks like with Complio. Going ahead, this is a typical process automation which I have shown, that was PO2SO process. The challenges these days are processing of vendor and customer documents is inefficient and error is prone due to manual interventions. So on the left hand side, as you can see, from out of all the input methods, we have shown 3 input options, which is the API, the browser and the Windows. In between you can see that supervisor captures the file through Azure Cloud, which is a complete secure environment. Supervisor does the necessary checks and validations, and when the PO matches all the business requirements as in the pricing, the quantity, the material distribution, a successful SO is created into your ERP. We will go ahead. The customers successfully using PO2SO process are Tata Chemical, Himalaya, Kevin Care, and the list continues with us. Here is the demo for PO2SO process. Now in my system you can see that the sales order number 16422 is been already created into the system. When I validate with this particular sales order with my ERP, just mentioning following the same process on the SAP output, mentioning the T code VA03 and entering. When I put down the sales order number 16422, you can see that this order was created into my SAP. Now going back and checking with 23, you will see that there is no order created. There is a notification that no order is created. Now we go to the web-based login of Complio. We select the right path, which is PO2SO. Now here there are a lot of options available. I'll select the right path. This is PO2SO, a very simple process. I just drag and drop the file. I will show you how the input of the purchase order looks like. This is the purchase order. It has the necessary details mentioned. There is a QR code, there is a PO number, there is the address, the items, the description, the quantity and the unit price. When we select this particular file, we just need to select it on the right path. After doing the necessary checks, I open the file in the particular system and I upload. Once upload, the spool will be captured, the necessary systems or necessary processes will happen in the backend, and a successful PO will be, or successful SO will be created into your ERP. Again, we will get an intimation that this particular sales order is being created into the ERP. You can see that sales order number 16423 has been successfully created. We go back into the SAP and check. Again, I just mentioned the sales order number. I open the system, yeah, you can see that this order was successfully created into the ERP. Now when the checks and validations and the PO was successfully matched, this happened. So this is how you can create a successful sales order using Complio. Moving ahead, this is a typical architecture for Grn Creation. So the challenges these days are processing of vendor and customer documents is inefficient and error is prone due to manual interventions. Again, from all the input methods, we've shown 3 input methods, which is the API, the browser and the Windows. So in between, you can see the file is received to the supervisor through Azure Cloud, which is a complete secure environment. The necessary checks and validations are done, and when the input file successfully matches with the business requirement, the Grn gets created into your SAP. This is the demo for Grn Creation. On my SAP output again, I will show you with the transaction code as ME23N we enter. This particular PO is already present into my ERP, which is 17921, against which this particular Grn was created. Now I will show you how to create a new Grn using the PO and the invoices. Moving ahead, these are 3 invoices that I have received from my multiple vendors. I will show you the preview of one particular invoice. There is the necessary details present for a Grn creation. When we, as you can see, there is a QR code, there is a barcode. We copy the particular invoice, we put it in an input folder for supervision, as you can see. And on the Complio gateway, which is a client module, the invoice is into the processing mode. Now the supervisor has captured the necessary file, the document is into the processing mode, necessary validations and checks are happening, the conditions are being met, and when everything matches, a successful Grn gets created into your ERP. So as you can see that invoice is into the processing mode and the processing of the file is ended. Again, when I click on to the Complio gateway, which is the client module, you can see the status of the file that it has been processed. Again, the same process, you will receive an intimation over your email that this particular Grn has been successfully created against the PO number 4500017921. Checking it into my SAP output, the same process. Here you can see this was the PO number against which a successful Grn was created into my SAP. Moving ahead with the next slide. The customers successfully using Grn Creation with us are Himalaya, Kevin Care, etc. So this is a typical architecture for WebSign, which is order to cash, very frequently used these days. The challenges that are reducing accounts receivable time by going paperless for order to cash cycle. So on the left hand side, you can see when a user receives a particular document for signing, there Complio enables a two-way authentication method. So what we do is we send an OTP for signing on the device of the particular document. The OTP is received only by the recipient. When the recipient receives, he can sign the document. When the document is signed, you can see that Complio captures the document. It is sent back to the ERP after acknowledging and approving, and then we can trigger the invoicing process or any of such processes in this case. So when the process is completed, a bunch of documents, which might be the invoice, which might be the delivery note, an ASR note, any document which is signed by the recipient is sent to the final recipient via a multi-channel distribution platforms like printing, emailing, sending it to his ERP, and etc. This is a typical architecture for customized reporting. The challenges these days are Generating customer reports from ERP is a very strenuous process. Again, on the left hand side, you can see SAP ERP. We have our certified connectors with SAP. Complio will capture the spool, and appropriate template would be applied on the same, and the output would be further distributed via our multi-channel distribution platforms, which is printing, emailing, archiving, pushing it back to the SAP content servers. You can store it on the cloud repository, etc. And for other ERPs, the input methods that we generally use are applications, PC folders, and database. Customers successfully using customized reporting with us are Siemens, Coca-Cola, Princess, Godfrey, HSBC. So this is a demo for customized reporting. I would run the demo for you. So on my SAP, I just type in the code as MM60. I select the plant to 2000. You can select any plant as per your business requirement. And when I execute this particular file, an ALB report is created. You can see the data is not properly formatted, difficult to read. Assume a situation wherein you want to add or delete any tables, you want to add any graphical representations or do calculation to this particular sheet. Now instead of going back to the SAP and doing programming, we can do that using Complio, wherein we query the data from your tables using the existing data from the list. In the real time, what I do is I just change the settings, I say print immediately, and when I execute, I will receive an enriched version of the document into my email. So I am executing this file. You can see that the spool request was being captured by Complio. The output is getting processed, additions and deletions and customizations are happening with Complio. As I told you that we can do all such things using querying the data, and a successful output is received in my email. So you see, I have received a Mara report, and when I open this particular document or the attachment, this is a much presentable and enriched version of the existing file which I just showed you. Maximizing the screen, and this is how the new report looks like. So herein we've added tables, we've changed the color, we can do calculations, we can show date, we can do graphical representations, and we can do necessary customizations using Complio. This is in a much business presentable format. So as mentioned, instead of going back to the SAP and doing programming which cuts a lot of time, you can do that using Complio while just querying the data. So we go ahead. This is a business process management, generally frequently used these days, and the challenges we face are flexibility in creating and managing customized and complex workflows. So on the left hand side, you can see that the inputs are being pulled from ERP, CRM or any business process management. So when the spool is captured by Complio, necessary enrichment happens to that particular file. The file might be enriched, the file might get changed into the layout, and additional information might be added. After doing this, the file will be sent to the necessary recipients for signing via digital signature or via web sign module of Complio, which is an electronic signing feature. So once the documents are signed, the final recipient will receive these particular documents via our output method of distribution, which I have already shown you. So moving ahead with the customers. Customers successfully using workflow management with the Simtrex are Ajinomoto, Showa, etc. So this is a demo for workflow. You can see that we've attached an expense sheet against which there are some few bills to be attached, and I need to get this reviewed. Now I select the data and I select this file in this particular input supervision, wherein Complio will send a link to the reviewer for signing. When I click on the link, I can see that this file has come for reviewing and signing. So on the left hand side, there will be a set of instructions wherein I can add my comments, I can sign, I can ink, I can reject the particular file. So Complio gives us an access to approve, reject or sign the document. The signatory position, you can see that I have just mentioned the text on the manager signature, and I signed this document. After signing this document, the next particular recipient in line receives a link again for reviewing and signing. So again on the screen you can see that there is a metadata available. The reviewer might review, add any comments, and when he sees that the first signature is there, he will draw his second signature on this particular invoice. The reviewed document was reviewed successfully and signed. The final recipient will receive an email over his mailbox that necessary document has come to him with all the signatures and added information. So this is how you can see that workflow management works with Complio. Complio can automate and digitize any of our business processes, and we can add up to n number of hierarchies in this particular process. Moving ahead, this is EDI. a very hot topic these days. You can see that on the screen we've mentioned business 1, business 2. So Complio can automate any of the exchanges happening in between the business and the supplier. So on the left hand side, when the business one sends a particular document, Complio receives the document, it does the necessary conversions. After the conversions are done, it might change it into the business requirements and then send it back to your ERP. After it sends it back to your ERP, when you want to send a response, now assume suppose you've received a PO and you want to send an ASN accordingly. So what you can do is you can just send it to our platform, which is Complio. It will do the necessary comparisons and send the output folder directly to the supplier's ERP. So with this, Complio can also do registering of the invoices on IRP folder, and it can also redistribute the particular documents. So this is how Complio saves your time and gives you a ready to plug and play system with EDI. Okay, this is a walkthrough for the presentation that I have given right now. The first thing, Complio is a one-stop solution for document management and business process management. We can capture data from multiple sources. We have got our certified connectors for SAP and IBM. Multi-channel distribution and collaboration is possible. Complio is beneficial across various departments of organization. So here I end my presentation. This is my contact detail. Our kiosk is present right behind in the ballroom, so we invite every one of you to come and interact with us, and if you have any questions, we can entertain the questions at the kiosk. So thank you so much.